So it's a great honor for us to be here today to remember our very wonderful older godbrother. I don't have many older godbrothers, but I believe he was 1 year older. And in those days, 1 year was you were a senior devotee. As I joined in Boulder, Colorado in 1969, Jamastami, shortly after that, if you know, Colorado's at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, or Boulder's at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, so it became very cold. And we were very, very poor then, not like nowadays. We have so much opulence, kaju and kishmish and everything, but they didn't have any money to buy warm clothes to do Harinam. But that's all we did in those days. We went in Harinam and distributed back to Goddess. So they sent me to LA to get trained up, because in those days, Prabhupada wanted LA to be the training center. So I got sent out to nice sunny California, and I met two very sunny personalities, because they stuck out. They were very striking, amazing characters. One was Narayan, who's already spoke, and the other one was, of course, in our American Sanskrit, we say Makanlal, though it's actually Makanlal. But anyway, these two characters were very colorful, and they stuck out in my memory. And we were way in the old La Cienega Boulevard temple, old temple before Huateca. And I always remember he was very, very, both of them stood out. They were very devoted to Srila Prabhupada. That was very inspiring. They were both very loud. Those days, almost every Sunday, we'd have a drama. So Makanlal was always part of the drama. He was always quite a very dramatic character. And he was very devoted to Srila Prabhupada and very attached to chanting, because that's, in those days, that's all we did. We go downtown all morning, late morning and afternoon, early afternoon, chanting Hare Krishna. And then we come back, take some prasad, and then except Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays was Bhagavad Gita class, and we would go to Sunset Boulevard or Hollywood Boulevard, you all know, and chant. And we were there with Vishnu Jan. And I always remember him being very enthusiastic and chanting the holy name. Then again, I met him after I got my training, went back to Boulder. Then they sent me to LA this time to the Huateca Avenue Temple. And we might mention, in that old La Cienega temple, there was a wonderful Vyasa-san. As Narayan mentioned, that was the first really real Vyasa-san in iskcon. Very beautiful, wonderful Vyasa-san. It was very, very amazing service of Narayan to make this Vyasa-san. So then we came to the Huateca temple, where again we got to associate for a few days, because I was there for getting initiated. And then after some time, I joined LA Temple. We moved from Houston, Texas. We came and we joined, and by this time, I think Makanlal was married to a wonderful devotee named Tilak. And again, of course, that time book distributors were just starting to take off, but again, mainly we were chanting Hare Krishna together. And I saw he was always very strict in his sadhana and very, very outspoken, very firm, always making sure. And I remember I noticed this back in La Cienega, but I also remember on Huateca, he was very, very devoted to Lord Nityananda. Somehow or other, he was always talking about Lord Nityananda. That's what I remember about Makanlal. He was trying to say that we're not remembering Lord Nityananda, as we heard Lord Nityananda is the incarnation of Balaram, who's Adi Guru. So that was very fitting, because he was very devoted to Prabhupada. He was very devoted to Lord Nityananda. And then I was very happy in the later years, he came here and made Punjabi Bagh his headquarters. And so that meant he would come to Vrindavan quite often. And sometimes we visited Punjabi Bagh temple, and I saw that he was very anxious to train up the younger generation and be very strict with them, that they don't deviate from Prabhupada's mission, and don't sing Hari Ramo or Hari Krishna. He was always, and he was always very concerned because we're all going out the door. There's only a few Prabhupada disciples left. And he was very anxious that the devotees learn how to serve properly Prabhupada disciples. He was very anxious to train the Punjabi Bhakt devotees, or of course, wherever he went, especially there. And he was very enthusiastic to preach to the youth. So I had wonderful association with him there in Punjabi Bagh, and he always come for Prabhupada's festival and always firmly try to guide us to stick on the path of Srila Prabhupada. He was a real Prabhupada man. That's what he always inspired me. And it was very sad to learn that he was having some medical issues, but now we're all of us, those old disciples, were at that age where always something is wrong. We're all the aches and pains are coming. We're finding out that Prabhupada didn't lie to us, that this material world is miserable. Birth, when you're young, it's very fun to preach. The miseries of birth, death, disease, and old age. But when it finally hits you that Prabhupada didn't lie, then it's a heavy realization. Old age is not fun at all. And we should become inspired by His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Govinda Swami Maharaj to become very faithful servants of Srila Prabhupada and try to push on whatever time we have left, try to push on the mission in the same way that Maharaj was so enthusiastic. I always saw him so enthusiastic to push on Prabhupada's mission. So we should take that inspiration from him and push on Prabhupada's movement with as much vigor as we can muster up now these old days. And I also like to thank Punjabi Bhakt Temple. It's not easy to take. We're getting old. We're a little cranky, so it's not so easy to take care of us. But I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I put my head at their feet for taking so nice care of Maharaj in the last days, and we hope that he's there showering his blessings down on Punjabi Bhakt Temple and showering his blessings down on us. Srila Bhakti Madhurya Govinda Swami Maharaj ki jai.